For my poem, I chose Kyle Dargan's The Robots Are Coming. The poem is about Dargan wanting to stay more in the industrial era and not wanting to have more human advancement or technological advancement due to just him fearing that we are going too fast and we are possibly going to be the doom of, our own success. And he's thought of robots as a way to put fear into the reader to show that, hey, this could actually be a reality and that we could actually be our own downfall. And he uses metaphor or figurative language like metaphors, imagery, personification to show and give these robots kind of detail to give them more of an eerie and kind of a scary kind of feeling, to give off that kind of horrific kind of feeling when you're reading the poem. And that kind of leads to what I believe the poem is truly about, or what he is trying to do. He's trying to put fear into the reader to kind of make sure his idea comes across as, clear, and that they understand the stakes that he's feeling and what's going through his head and how serious he is thinking of the situation. And he even gives the robots, human characteristics to show that, these did come from us. He also gave them kind of weird, kind of bug-like tendencies and personalities, and obviously they're not real. They don't have human souls. They don't have, brains. They're machines. It's AI. It's machines, ticking, going through in their heads. It's not a real brain. And he uses a good example of metaphors in the poem when he uses in lines 26 to 32. He says, "Tell the machines we honor their dead, distant cousins. Tell them we tendered those cities to repose out of respect for welded steel's bygone era. Tell them Ford and Carnegie were giant men, that war glazed their palms with gold." In this quote, he says their tendered cities are to repose them out of respect for welded steel's bygone era, like they are being mourned and being laid to rest, like in a funeral, like a human funeral. He's giving our industrial cities we have now, like Detroit, in cities like that, he uses, mourning like a person passing away to show that we could actually lose these cities if we keep just advancing and we not have, use for them anymore. Another quote that he uses for figurative language in the poem is personification. A good quote for there is in lines 13 through 18. "The age of machines, post-industrial tears, whose tempered paws, 5 welded fingers, wrench back our roofs, cytophilic tongues seeking blood, licking the crumbs of us from our beds." He kind of gives them human characteristics, showing that, again, like I said earlier, these do come from us, and it puts more of an image into the reader's mind of what these robots could possibly actually look like. And then another good example of figurative language, of course, is him using similes in the poem. A good example of that is actually at the beginning of the poem in lines 1 through 6, where he says, "With clear case woofers for heads, no eyes, they see us as a bat sees a mosquito, a fleshy echo, a morsel of sound. You've heard their intergalactic tour buses purring at our stratosphere's curb." They see us as a bat sees a mosquito. Sees us as prey, as, not on the same level as them. He uses it to kind of put fear into the reader that, they're not really here to, with good intentions. So the whole point of the poem in my eyes is that he uses it just to put fear into the reader that we really shouldn't advance and stay into where we are right now. Or, he wants to stay more into the industrial era. But that mostly is what Kyle Dargan's poem is about, and thank you for taking your time to listen to this.